So, does interracial marriage hurt the black community? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logic Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. So, it's widely believed by a lot of black people that, some blacks, that interracial marriage hurts the black community. Now, this is something that is believed by, usually the pro-black types, these pro-blacks, such as Dr. Umar Johnson, a good doctor, always using race for gain, for notoriety, to traveling all over the world on vacation, giving speeches, claiming to help the black community, but not really doing a damn thing for the black community. And generally, they are always speaking upon black men married interracially. Now, their argument here is that if a black man marries outside of his race and has the unfortunate incident that he loses his life, then that non-black woman, female, is going to take those resources out of the black community, and is going to, basically, the black community is going to suffer because of this. Now, this is the nonsense that these leftists, these pro-black leftists spout. Again, the only reason they do this is to hype and hustle race, because these race hustlers, they just have to keep finding race in everything, racism in everywhere, right? It doesn't matter if you have a white light, a black light, green light, purple light, they're gonna find race somewhere, and that's what they do. Now, of course, there are issues with this nonsense, and I say the first problem with this argument is that I've studied, and I've also seen countless blacks cite this, that a dollar bill bounces around the black community at best one time before it leaves. Other community, that money may bounce around several times, 5 or 6 times before it leaves the community. Well, black people just bounce around one time, and that's it, it's gone out of the community. Now, when they say bounce, basically what they mean is shops, supporting shops in your community, in your area, your businesses. If a person who lives in a certain community, let's say a black community, and I get paid from the white man, right? If I need something done, I will go to blacks in the area of people that look like me. So if I need to get new tires, well, is there a tire shop owned by people that look like me in my community? Well, I go to them instead of just going to a major chain store, which is more than likely owned by corporations, which is the quote-unquote white man. So that instead of going to a major corporation, I go to that businessman that looks like me, so the money stays in the black community. And then if I need to buy any groceries, is there a grocery store that's owned by black people in the community? Well, if you go shop at that grocery store, then you keep the money in the community, and so on and so forth. Just basically shopping and practicing group economics. That's essentially what they mean. Now, my view on group economics: before you can practice group economics, you have to practice economics, and black people do some of the worst job of practicing economics in general. So you have to practice economics before anyone can patronize you. Secondly, you have to be competent too. You can't expect nobody to support something just because it's black. A black person, that is. You got to be competent in what you do. But if the money is bouncing out of the community so fast, well, you think keeping the money in the hands of quote-unquote black women is going to help? Now, secondly, problem with this argument is that women in general tend to be horrible with money, and it's not quote-unquote sexism, it's just a fact. Women are terrible and horrible with money, and typically you put money in the hands of the average female, it's going to be blown. So if you put this money in the hands of black females instead of non-black females, what makes you believe that these black females are going to somehow be these super major philanthropists and using that money to improve the black community. No, they're going to go out shopping, they're going to blow the money, and inevitably that money is still going to wind up in the hands of white people in the first place. So then exclusively making sure that a black woman, quote unquote, gets the money is not really doing anything for the black community. And lastly, if the black community can't survive interracial marriages, the problem is not with interracial marriages. The problem is with the black community. I mean, no community has ever grown and prospered with a few people contributing and everybody else leeching off the system. Everybody else. A community survives and grows and thrives when everybody pulls their own weight. So if one black man marries interracially and the black community can't survive that, then what's going on with the other people in the community? That should be the question, not to focus and harp on it that one black man who marries a non-black female. You need to be looking at the other black people in that community and figure out what in the world are they doing. I mean, you can't expect a few people to carry the load in the whole community. So if, like I say, if a black man married interracially is quote unquote taking money from the black community, then what are all these other people in the community doing? That should be the question that's asked. And of course, when you're dealing with race hustlers, they're not in it for what's actually best for the black community. They're in there just to cry race. And if you really truly cared about the black community, like I said, you'd be more focused on those other people who are not. You know, if 20% of the black men marry interracially, then what are the other 80% doing? The other 80% should be self-sufficient and carrying their own load, and that 20% marrying outside their race wouldn't matter, which is ridiculous because, again, I always say the one institution that's more likely to end quote-unquote racism is interracial marriage and interracial couples. And the people who do the most crying about racism are the ones who are doing the most crying about the institution that's more likely to end racism. Again, it's just laughable and proof that all these racists are full of crap. But anyway, interracial marriage is not hurting the black community, not even remotely close. It's the mentality of the people in the black community that's hurting the black community. And until we address that, there's nothing that's going to help the black fix anything in the black community. Okay, so blaming interracial marriages will get you nowhere. Anyway, y'all, that's my 2 cents on this. Anybody who says this nonsense is full of crap and is just looking something for another reason to cry race, to get black people enraged and to turn into mindless zombies, because they know all they got to do is just cry race and black people turn into mindless zombies. But anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.